Hey, everybody, it's Matt. This is Other Side of the Selfie. Thanks for joining us tonight. Boy, I think it's almost the end of April, which is crazy. We're in Ohio, and I think it's the warmest it's been all year. It was like 55 today. So it's crazy. We've been doing this Other Side of the Selfie thing since the end of January. I believe this is our 13th or 14th episode. Excited to have Kenny Potter on tonight, and looking forward to the conversation we're going to have there. Wanted to briefly start the episode tonight with a sponsor. We've got tonight's episode is sponsored by Rhino Shirts. RHNO stands for Real Healing, Never Overlooking. And Rhino Shirts is all about providing all kinds of different shirts and sweatshirts and tank tops and tumblers and all that kind of stuff. And half of all profits go to the Younique Foundation. So I've got a couple things. We've got tumblers. That's an obsessively grateful tumbler. We've got T-shirts. Here's an example of a wonderful Epic Wife, Epic Life. We've got, I think I'm wearing one on right now, so I've got my Defend Innocence sweatshirt, and a nice bright purple. Here's another. This is one of my favorites. Supporting my wife's makeup business since, and I don't know if you can see, since she told me to. So tonight's episode's brought to you by Rhino Shirts. Glad to have those guys as part of it. It's a separate company of mine that's connected, but it's just a little something to help this thing be a reality. So wanted to welcome Kenny Potter. Thanks again for coming. For those who don't know, Other Side of the Selfie is all about husbands who are in support of their wives, significant others, potentially if you're not married, that are involved in the network marketing world. So thrilled to have Kenny. His wife, Sara, has been involved in Younique for about 3 years, I think he said. And so what I'm going to start with is, Kenny, welcome. And if you wouldn't mind, just kind of give us a quick background on who you are, who your wife is, if you guys have any kids, family, where you're from, just a quick kind of background on who Kenny and Sara Potter are.
Sure. And hey, now that I know about those shirts, we're going to talk about that. I think that's awesome that you give half the proceeds to the Younique Foundation. Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, that's cool.
Kenny Potter. I live in northern Kentucky, so today has been wonderful weather. Really happy that spring is finally here.
Yes.
My wife, Sara, she's been in Younique for about 3 years, and we have two kids, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old daughter, and a 4-year-old son. So certainly busy with family, but that's the nice thing about this business, right? We can work around our family and do a little extra for ourselves. And
yeah, that's awesome.
When I'm not helping out at home or with the wife's business, I'm a marketing manager by trade.
Very good. Cool. And in chemical business, you don't have to say the company, but that's you've been there and background. You said in culinary arts, so you've been a chef, so you do all the cooking around the house. Is that
100% cooking? Yes. I do zero of the cleaning and 100% of the cooking. So it works out perfect. It is. It's great.
That is good. Cool. So tell me a little bit about what it looked like whenever Sara started to get involved in the network marketing world. Was there something that kind of drove her to that? What was it that happened? And kind of what did that look like from your perspective? What was your initial perception and kind of mentality around when she first got going in the network marketing world?
Well, both my wife and daughter like to shop a lot. So my wife was obviously buying some nice makeup, and she came to me and was kind of like, hey, look at this great deal I get, and I can save on some makeup products. Plus, there's like a business side to this. So for me, I heard save on makeup, let's go for it. And the business side, it is what it is, whatever happened. But that first month she got done and came back to me and goes, I just paid my car payment from this business that I started. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on, stop. Tell me more about this. And then that's when I was like pretty much all in, because I wanted to learn more about network marketing and how the whole business worked. And it became, for me as a husband, more than just saving money on the makeup that she was buying.
Yeah. And so what was that like? Was it the car payment thing, right? So that comes in, somewhat right away. Is that something that kind of said to you that was like, all right, that's all good? Or were you still kind of leery? Is this going to last? What, just kind of thoughts on just generally perception. Had you been involved or had she been involved in network marketing at all before?
No, neither one of us have been involved in network marketing before. I think for me, that's what made it real. That really piqued my curiosity because I'm like, now this is an extra income stream. It's not just a discount kind of thing. I wanted to learn more about it. How can I support that? How can I nurture it? And it's been fun seeing how it built up over the last few years.
That's cool. And you said, so you're in marketing. So you said part of what you do from a support perspective is in, you could call yourself kind of the chief marketing officer of Sara's business, just kind of help on that end. So tell me some of the things that you do to try to support and to help out.
We're always bouncing ideas off each other, you know, even if it's something as simple as coming up with an idea for what should we post this day, or if I notice something, I might like take a picture of that. That'll be a really good post because you want to be able to be consistent with your platforms. And then Sara works on multiple platforms, so we really went with the whole philosophy of like build up one platform, then try another one, build that up, try another one, rather than just overwhelm yourself by trying to do everything at once. And usually both of us feed off of each other on the social media side because we can be like, oh, I just heard, I don't know, like Instagram when they came out with stories. Hey, look at this. You can now use these Instagram stories and look at how successful people are with it, how many people are really looking at it and it's driving traffic to your page. Make sure you're using your story feature. It showed the same thing with me. Like, hey, Kenny, did you know Facebook had this algorithm change? Well, my job, I use Facebook for that. We have a Facebook page. So I'm glad to hear that because that affects my daily work life. So we work together on that, and it's a lot of fun.
That's cool. So how soon did you get in, you know, as far as getting involved in that side of things, right? So it's her business, but you wanted to support. Was that something that was like right away, or did it take some time for you to kind of figure out, hey, this is something that I can help you out with? Or was it like, hey, this is, you know, kind of right away, you jumped right in?
My wife and I are very much a team. So once I learned more about what it was kind of like, oh, this is a real business. Tell me more about it. The learning phase and like, all right, now how can I help you? So once I got to that, and really it's kind of a family business now. So you'll see, I have posts regularly where I might be out dropping off makeup and I'll take a selfie like, makeup delivery boy is out today. Let me know if you need anything. My daughter, me and my son have all done live videos. My daughter's done some team training before. I've gotten involved with that. So it's anywhere we can pick up, especially when we come to like mailing packages. I'm usually the one that's in there helping to close envelopes, go through inventory, where are we at with things like that. So it's become a family business, so it's a lot of fun for us.
That is fun. That's cool. So is there some sort of like, you jump in more at certain times, you know, like with the business, I know end of the month, right? If they're trying to reach a certain goal or if they're trying to hit a certain thing or even to help out the team to hit certain things like that. Do you get involved in that kind of stuff as well?
I have a regular team post that I do every Saturday. So that's kind of like one of my fun things because what I like to do is I like seeing the success of everybody else. It's really becoming more of like a family kind of thing. So I'd like to see when other people do well. So every Saturday I have a shout out for the team that I get in there and like, hey, everybody, you know, let's give some love for these people who are having an amazing month kind of thing.
Cool.
Yeah, and definitely the weekend in November and December it gets really, really busy. So that's more of like, hey, let mom work her business. Kids, let's go have some fun and do some other things like that. Or how can we help mom out because this is her busy time of year.
Right. That's cool. And so you said about 3 years. So a lot of the folks that I talk to are in that range, right? Somewhere between 3 to 4.5 years, something like that. I think that's probably right around the time, obviously, when Younique was really taken off, and so that's kind of spurred on. And now they're up to, I think they just hit over 1 million presenters. Mm-hmm. Where and how, you know, have you seen kind of the growth in both Sara and her team, and kind of how you've seen from the outside how that affects like her personally? You know, does this, and I'll kind of give an example. So on my side, I've seen in Anne, she's found her passion and she just loves the ability to help and empower and build confidence in, and, you know, all that side relative to other women. The money side is great. And it's, you know, it's wonderful to do that, and the trips and all that kind of stuff is fun. But for us, or for her in particular, it's been finding something that she truly loves and truly enjoys and sees that passion. So on your side, is there something like that you've kind of seen in Sara over the course of time since the beginning?
Well, my wife's always been a very big-hearted person. She always likes to help people, so I think she gets a lot out of that. But what I've seen really, the biggest difference is probably her confidence level. So she's not been one who did really well with public speaking or interacting with other people that much before this business, but her level of confidence since doing this has skyrocketed, and I love seeing her kind of flourish more as a little more of an outgoing person. It's been a great change for sure.
Yeah. So tell me about Facebook Lives. Is that something she does, and did it take a while for her to get used to doing that kind of thing? Because I know that's from a challenge perspective. I know a lot of times the women in the business see others who've been doing it and do so good at it, right? So it's just like it's come second nature, and then like, oh my gosh, I'll never be able to do it that well. Or was she fairly natural out of the gate?
Well, this is kind of an interesting story too. So my wife will tell the people that she works with all the time, before this business, she never even posted a selfie online. And even when she started, it was more of kind of like product picture kind of thing. So she had to build her way up, build that confidence up, like I was talking about before. And now she goes live regularly. So she's very much into the Facebook Live, and she definitely sees the difference it makes in her business, her algorithm, the amount of interaction she gets, and I think that's an important thing from a marketing perspective. Is people want to see you. It's more important to go out there and be live, like we're talking right now, rather than just posting a photo. But at the very least, put a video out there so people can see your face, get to know you, because people buy from people. People don't buy from companies.
Sure. Yeah. So how do you feel like the marketing side? I know you kind of told a little bit about that, but the specific marketing experience that you have in both leading and kind of helping out with her directly, but also with the team, are the things, outside of, like you said, Facebook algorithms and things like that, but are there some things that you've been able to kind of help and support with your knowledge on that side in particular?
Well, we have a lot of discussions, not just about how to use the different social media platforms, but branding's one that comes up quite a bit, being able to brand yourself and how do you do that? We try to figure that out. And here I am sitting in one of my wife's two offices in our house. And I don't know if you can see it. There's a big logo behind me right there, and there's Natural Beauty by Sara and the logo. And that's something we got to work together on, which was great. And it's fun to talk a little bit more about how do you brand yourself, because people buy from people, so you want them to be able to relate to you. What are the different ways you can do that? Obviously, being yourself is very important, and being able to be in front of people constantly. So we certainly have a lot of discussions around the marketing aspect of it, and I like being in the back office.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Did she work before in something else, or was this something that was just added? What's kind of her background?
Yeah, Sara's background's IT and specifically SharePoint, and she's been doing that for years, and this kind of has just built up since then, and she's getting really close to some great levels that she's an orange status presenter right now, and I think it's continuing to grow, which we always look at that. I'm definitely the person who's looking at those back office numbers and watching how the business grows, and always being excited when people are hitting promotions. I'll send Sara text messages all the time, like, look how close this person is. And maybe that's one way of supporting too. I'm the back office cheerleader for sure.
Sure, that's cool. So she still does that IT job as well. So she's doing both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you obviously have full-time jobs. He has a full-time job plus Younique stuff. You've got two kids, 11 and 4. How's that all look, and how do you play that part of the game?
Right. So like the time thing is always, everybody says, I don't have time for stuff like this, but really kind of interweave it into your daily life. So, I mean, I think Sara posts 5 or 6 times a day on Facebook, but a lot of that's just what's going on that day. It might be something I made for dinner. It might be something my son did that was funny. A lot of times it's just, you get up in the morning, she puts on makeup every day. So she'll do a live video of her putting on her makeup, working her business. She puts on her makeup before work, takes a selfie and posts it, working her business. Then Later on that day, me and her have lunch. She takes a picture of us having lunch, posts it. Still working your business because you're keeping your algorithm up. It's not really adding to the time that you have. It's just that extra step of capturing the moment and then sharing it with everybody else.
Yeah, that's awesome. What would you say as far as the kind of challenging part, and maybe it was part of what we just talked about with balance and family and that kind of stuff comes up, but what are some of the challenges that you feel like you guys have faced in general, and maybe you're in general as a family and a couple, but also then from your perspective, maybe on, how you've related to her having a second job and, the time that's involved and that kind of a thing?
Like I said, we're very much a team, so it's been a team effort since early on. We've all been very passionate about the business. I think understanding how to balance your time, especially during these busy times of years, is not really, I wouldn't say a struggle, but it's important to be mindful of. And we've done a really good job of that because everybody pitches in. So we're all here to help Sarah's business continue to grow, and even her teammates. So there's been times where I've run stuff out for some of the people that she works with, and same thing with my daughter stepping up and doing training. So when time becomes an issue, it's like, hey, who can step up to the plate in this house and keep this rolling?
Right. That's cool. So anything, that you've hit that's like, and you could share with the people that are watching, that's like hey, we went through this and this was the solution that we kind of came together. I love the teamwork mentality, but I wonder if there's maybe a specific thing maybe that's happened that you can think of that you guys were able to face and then challenge and kind of work through.
Sure. And this applies to all network marketing. There's ups and downs in the business. And it really, even in sales, everyone always says the J months are not good for sales. There's ups and downs in any business. So being able to realize, like, hey, this is a down month. This doesn't mean it's the end of everything. How do we springboard out of this and continue to have that growth? And usually the answer is kind of just continue to grind through that month. What are the things that we can kind of step up? What can we change? And that's another conversation we have a lot of times. Like, hey, we've been doing this for 6 months and it's not really yielding what we want. Then we'll have that conversation of, well, what can we do differently? There's always something you can do differently. So trying to think outside the box on what that next thing is usually is what springboards that to that next promotion or that next big month that you're looking to have.
That's cool. I love how you say we all the time. It's neat to hear the true partnership. I can tell just from talking with you and that kind of thing. I think it's really cool to have that kind of side by side going at this thing together, which is that's neat. So kind of along those same lines then, what are some of the benefits, the positives that you guys have experienced? Financial, it sounds like, is one, which is great. Other stuff that you feel like has seen the joys of the fruits of your labor, I guess, what's going on there?
Sure. And, one of the things we really love is being able to see some of the other people that we work with be successful. When there's a couple stories we've heard where people have been able to buy things that they wouldn't have been able to normally buy, or, there was another one where somebody was able to have a birthday party for their child that they didn't know if they'd be able to do it. That's very fulfilling, knowing that you're going to be able to help people, knowing that we're contributing to the Younique Foundation. What a great foundation that is.
Yeah. Awesome.
There's a lot of that, big-hearted stuff that feels good about it. We love to travel. I've been to all the conventions since Sarah's been in this. I've been to a lot of the trainings, and I've been to the incentive trips. So that's fun for us because we've always wanted to travel and see the world, and that's been a really nice incentive for us.
That's cool, and to be able to do it for free on Younique's bill, that's awesome too. That makes it even more fun when you do it with somebody else's money.
Yes, much appreciative of that.
Yeah, that's cool. So what are some of the things, just kind of generally, what does a day look like in your guys' life as far as the business goes? I know you talked a little bit about, selfies in the morning and maybe you meet her for lunch and that kind of thing. How do you guys get through, just kind of a general day whenever you're, let's say a weekday as an example, just kind of how the process works for you guys?
Yeah, so we have a checklist. So we go through a checklist. We know every day, here's all the stuff that needs to be done. And Sarah and I will talk like, hey, what do you have going on? How can I help you that day? Do you need me to deliver some product? Do we need to come up with some post ideas that I can maybe help you develop some content for? Other than that, it's like capturing the moment, like I mentioned before, throughout the day and making sure that's kind of the business is there in your everyday life. It's not really running your life. It's just interweaved within it, and it's part of your life after a while. It doesn't seem like it's extra work.
Yeah.
It's there, and it's contributing to your family in one way or the other. It's supporting other people's family, whether it's the people you're working with directly that you've recruited, or some of the people with them, or the people above you. Like, we look at that all the time too. It's really exciting seeing somebody who is higher up in the business, that what your business is impacting theirs, and you're knowing you're helping that family. So like, that I think really helps with that whole family vibe kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but
All
it's good.
intertwined for sure. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
And
great.
then go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's great.
Yeah. So you mentioned that your kids have gotten involved in some of the training and some of the videos and pictures and things like that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, there's a few that are my favorite. So my daughter's really embraced the skill of taking a selfie, and she did a selfie training before, and she's done some product training before because she really likes the skincare masks. And there's a
fun.
great picture of my daughter at a Xavier basketball game, or it's a volleyball game, taking a selfie. And somebody captured it and sent it to my wife and goes, "This is totally your daughter." Really embracing the whole unique lifestyle for sure. And
Yeah,
then
that's fun.
my son, he'll get in there. He likes it when his mom's doing videos to kind of get in and say, "Hey, everybody." And I mean, he's 4, so he's
Yeah.
just more playful than anything. And it's a good cuteness factor. But
For sure. It's like walking around with a puppy or a baby or something, you're right, grabs attention. That's always good.
oh yeah, he likes getting in there and grabbing mom's makeup products.
Yeah, that's fun. So have you done any of the, I know you said you've done some, like your own kind of push out each Saturday kind of a deal. Have you gone, taken the plunge and done the makeup on yourself yet?
Not a lot on myself. I've done the mask a lot. I love the skincare mask. It's great.
Yeah.
But I did a makeover on Sarah.
Okay.
Well, and I can't say I haven't tried any of the product. I think there's been a few times. What was might have been the lip powder that came out, and I did that one live with Sarah, and I was like, let me try this, because that whole like powder to it's like, I got to see what this is like. So yeah, I guess I put on makeup.
That's
But
fun.
hey, it's helping the family. It's helping a lot of other people, and if people get some entertainment value out of it, I have no problem.
It is, and that's fun. I have yet to do it. So it's one of those. I know it's one of those things where they do. I've seen challenges. So there's the Husbands of Younique Facebook group, which is fun, and they'll do challenges every once in a while, either the makeup challenge or they'll do something special for your wife for 7 days or something like that, which is really fun. But it is fun. It's fun. It's neat to watch and see and do some of those things. So it's fun to jump in and kind of, like you said, get out of the box sometimes and do something a little unique to get some attention. That's good.
Right. And I mean, like, it's so much better than working 9 to 5 in a cubicle.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. What would you say if you were talking to yourself, let's say 3.5 years ago, and you didn't know, and you're like, hey, my wife is thinking about this thing, and I'm talking to you're having this conversation with yourself, and whether there were some doubts, or whether there was questions, or whether there was things that were kind of going through your mind, what would be that kind of thing that you wish you knew then that you know now? Or maybe there was some good advice that you heard early on, or maybe just something that you might be interested in sharing with somebody that's kind of a, boy, this is what you need to know as you're getting into it. Maybe somebody's watching this and they're like, I'm on the edge. My wife is into this thing, but we're not quite sure. Or I don't know what I can do as the husband. It's makeup business. What in the heck can I do? I'm not in marketing. So what, how could I help? That kind of thing. Is there something that you could kind of say, hey, I wish I knew this back then?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing is educate yourself. I think that's really important. And as far as being a significant other of somebody else that's thinking about getting into network marketing, definitely be there for them. Be their cheerleader. Make it. And the other people I talk to about this are like, what can somebody else do? Just make it our business. Like, that's what we do. It's our business. There's things that you can do. You can help send out invoices. You can deliver a product. There's so many things that you can do. So just make sure you're there for them. Learn about the business. Make it part of your life together. And then I think that's what helps it really grow. Not knowing a lot about it coming into it was kind of like I said, it's like, it's there, whatever, we'll find out. And until it became real. Now we're paying bills with it. And it's like, oh, okay, let's learn more. So take the time to learn about it, because I think some people do get a little bit skeptical about what network marketing is. And it's a real business. I mean, that's such a learning right there. This is a real thing that people make good money out of, and you can grow as an actual business. It's worth looking into for sure.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. And I think there's a perception. Anne did a couple things before Younique, so she did a couple other network marketing kind of things, and she did it, and it was more for, hey, a little bit extra money, a little bit of place to spend some time that she wanted to get to do. But truly finding, as I kind of mentioned before, but truly finding it as a passion. And I think, again, the foundation was certainly a big part. And for those that don't know, the Younique Foundation is all about helping women who have been sexually abused as children or adolescents, and then are now as adults dealing with that, kind of the repercussions of that. And so they've got a whole retreat center and support system and all this kind of great stuff, which is just awesome. And that's actually the reason why the organization, the business was started, was in order to fund the foundation and put that together. So it's really neat to see how it's been built around something that's a positive impact on the world, and definitely something that is needed out there. So it's really neat. I think that certainly is connected, and how it all kind of came about with Anne was really, she went out to the Unified group in whatever it was, 2014, I guess. And it was, and it was early on. She actually got to go to Maxfield's house and have dinner with them. It was a pretty intimate kind of a deal, and to learn their story and to hear that for the first time. And then when I got in as the husband, first time I saw it was then that year at the cruise for the incentive trip, and then heard Derek tell his story. And again, same kind of deal. It's like, this is the real deal. Obviously, seeing all the people that were there and everybody that had made it to a trip, and that this is something that you're getting paid for and all that stuff. But then when you really see the foundation behind, why this thing is in existence, it really makes a difference to see that, which is really cool.
Yeah, and I think it brought up a good point there about the whole find something you're passionate about. People who have tried other network marketing things, maybe it wasn't the right one. Find something where the business attracts or is attractive to you, or the products are something you really love, and that's usually when you're successful in network marketing. I think that's very important, and you're absolutely right. The Younique Foundation's amazing, and it feels really good being able to support a business that has that kind of a foundation behind it.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's why I'm talking about the shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's, and again, for those that, maybe missed up front or whatever, just catching in, Rhino shirts. And so the reason behind on the reason I founded Rhino shirts was obviously with the sole purpose of giving half of the profits to the Younique Foundation. But I've also been a victim myself of sexual abuse as a child. And so the connection with that is a personal connection. So our family has dealt with that stuff, and it was a long time ago, and it was something that was held quiet for a long time in my life. And then coming out with something like that became a big piece of who we are and who we are as a married couple, and that kind of stuff too came into play. And so to be able to have that connection, again, I think it's again, back to the we comment, it's, it is a we, and we're definitely both involved in this and how we can help and work together. And again, ultimately the drive is to help other people, which I love to hear. And you say that's what Sarah's kind of her underlying mentality and personality is all about helping others. And so that's what we've really tried to do, absolutely, both with what Anne does, and then also what I've done with some of the shirt stuff as well. So one kind of final word, if we kind of wrap up here, any kind of lessons learned, something that you might want to, leave somebody with, that would be, hey, this is something that you ought to keep in mind.
Well, I think for those who are watching and are thinking about getting into network marketing, there's so many aspects of this, whether it's the new friendships that you build, the business that you build, the people you support, the foundations that you support. There's so much involved with this. It's so much more than just going to a job and sitting at a desk. Take some time to learn about it. Doesn't matter what business you get into. Pick one that you feel passionate about. You're going to be helping other people. You're going to be doing something good for yourself. take that time. It's going to be good for you.
That's cool. And as a husband or significant other in that world, is to do what you can to support that your wife or your significant other's that dream. They're jumping into something that's, whether they show it or not, it's probably a little scary for them too. They're kind of going out on a limb to try something new and getting into something. So whatever you can do to support, I think that's what's been huge. And as I've seen, and this is just a personal experience, especially through this show and even through some of the trips and things like that, the ones that I see anyway, that are the spouses in the network marketing that are very successful, absolutely, I would say almost 100% of the time have a supportive husband on the other side that is there to, they're not knocking them down. They're not saying this, what's this silly thing that you're involved in. They're not doing anything but encouraging, and some physically and are able to do that. Some may not have the time, but they certainly support emotionally and do what they can with time and that kind of stuff. But those that have been successful, I see have really been those that have a great partner behind them. So I think that's a significant piece there for sure.
I'd agree with that. And, it's also really good being able to meet all the other guys that are involved in the business. I've made so many friends from this, and obviously with the trips and everything else. I was saying to my wife before this, and we talk about it all the time, it's kind of like when you go out for the holidays and you see that uncle or cousin you only see like once a year, and you're instantly like, let's catch up, let's have a drink kind of thing. And I get to do that with these people I meet all the time, and then we stay connected on Facebook, continue to talk, and that's how I ended up here, because someone gave you my name. So
that's exactly right. Yeah, it's fun, and it's interesting too, because that's where I've been able to talk to people from all over the country, even up in Canada and stuff, where it's just as the ability to connect and make friends and bring it all together is really cool. So that's fun. Well, thanks, Kenny. Really appreciate you coming. For those that are watching, please share and put out the word. We'd love to get more involved and get people knowing about Other Side of the Selfie and connecting with this. If you have somebody especially that's considering getting into network marketing and thinking about it, that's where we really hope to help out. And then certainly if you're a husband, or if you've got a husband who is on the fence or doesn't quite know what to do, this is kind of a support group, if you will. So every Sunday at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Time, love for you to join us. And thanks again, Kenny, for joining us. And look forward to talking with you and hopefully meeting you in one of the trips or conferences or something in person sometime. And we'll talk soon. So thanks, Kenny. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great evening.
Bye.